All right, cool. Well, thank you guys so much for hopping on to tonight's Freedom Union call. Thank you for being patient as we get the links working and all that. Tonight, I have a very special guest, Amanda Lantz. She is, I don't even know. It's so crazy how sometimes these people come into your life and it's so random but so perfect, because that's how I feel about Amanda. We are very, very similar. We're both very creative and very hardworking, and Amanda just earned her Success Starters trip for the 2017 Success Club trip, which is amazing. So proud of her for that. So she is working a full-time job, and she hit Success Starters, and she is a total rock star. So she's going to share her tips tonight on time management and why time management is a myth, I suppose I should say. So with that, I will hand it over to you, Amanda.
Perfect. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. Hi, everybody. So I don't think I've met, well, most of you just on Facebook. I don't know how many people are on the call. I think there's like 8 people, but my name is Amanda. And as you guys know from Sam's intro, I'm her downline. And we kind of met randomly. I had started following her on YouTube and Instagram and on Facebook as well. And I finally reached out to her one day. I was already a Beachbody customer. I had another coach. And I reached out to Sam because I was loving like the videos she was putting out and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of how she and I met. But tonight's team call, I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about, I was brainstorming a lot about what I wanted to talk about. And this was like the best thing I could come up with because it's so appropriate for me right now. And like, I'm sure all of us on this call, we've experienced like the highs and the lows of coaching. It's definitely a roller coaster. I don't think there's any better way to really describe it. And I'm definitely going through some of those movements right now. And the other thing I wanted to talk about was like time management to me is a myth, and I'll explain why. Because I think it's different for everybody. And I don't think there's, a one size fits all when it comes to, okay, you can work this much time in your business and you're going to be successful. I think it depends on the person and how you want to build your business and all that kind of stuff. So I'll get into that. But I guess the first thing I wanted to start with was my story, because I haven't really gotten a chance to explain that. So I'll go back to like how I grew up a little bit. And I've been living in the same city since I was pretty much born. I haven't really gone very far in terms of moving. My parents actually still live pretty close to where I am. So I've stayed close to home, but I've born and raised here in Ottawa in Canada. And I kind of grew up in a household that there was like a lot of arguing. It was kind of like an emotional and verbal abusive sort of environment. So words mean a lot to me and how people talk to each other. And that had actually a huge impact on like my self-esteem and how I felt about myself. And food actually became a really big crutch for me in high school, college, but even elementary school. And like I got teased at school as well. So I didn't really have I didn't know how to deal with those emotions. And so what I did is I ate. So I was always kind of the chubby kid. I always carried a little bit of extra weight, and I was always trying to find ways of losing weight, some of them unhealthy. And then finally, a little bit about, I guess, how I met my husband, because this ties in as well. My husband and I met back in 2011, and my husband is Swedish. So I went on a trip. It was my 22nd birthday, or actually, no, that's a lie. I'm making myself younger than I actually am. I don't remember. I think I was like 23, 24. And I decided, because for years I'd been planning these trips with my friends, like, yeah, we're going to go to Europe and we're going to go do this and we're going to go do that. And all my friends, we would agree, we'd go travel. And at the end of the day, when it came time to cough up the cash, no one could. And no one had saved the money. So I was tired of waiting for people. I literally just bought a ticket for myself. I said, screw it. I emailed my buddy Johan, who's Swedish, because I lived with him for about a year when I was with my first boyfriend. So that's how we knew each other. And I messaged him one day and I was like, dude, is it cool if I just, come and crash at your place? I want to come and see Sweden. I need to get out of Canada. I need to see the world. So that's what happened. And actually my husband was his roommate. So that's how we met. Everything was quite honorable, I will say, when I was there for the week. But we continued talking afterwards. And so that started kind of our relationship. He came here to visit. I think it was like December of that year. And then that's kind of when it all started. And so my husband and I went through a really long immigration process. I think you guys still have in the States like a fiance visa and all that kind of stuff, but we don't have that here in Canada anymore. We used to. So anyway, he was here on like a work travel visa for a year, and that was great. We lived together. The relationship was doing amazing. And then we went to go visit his family. And on the way back, we went through customs, and they essentially told us that he would not be able to extend his visa. And we would have to pretty much get married if we wanted him to come back into Canada, which was nuts. But little did I know, when we were in Sweden that week before, he had actually talked to his parents and said that he was going to propose to me on my birthday. And I'm like the most, like, you can't surprise me with anything, because I will always suspect there's something going on. And so he was going to plan like some kind of a surprise birthday party. But unfortunately, he had to be out of the country about 3 weeks before my birthday was going to take place. So we had a bit of a discussion, and we ended up getting married. We planned a really quick ceremony within 6 weeks and got married in my parents' backyard. And then we went through the immigration process, which was about 15 months with him in Sweden and me in Canada. And that's when I really started to like overeat like crazy. And I was weighing my heaviest. I'm not very tall. I'm like 5 feet. And I'm pretty comfortable sharing this with you guys, because I think weight is just a number. But I had gone up to like 152 pounds, 53 pounds, which is quite a bit on a 5'1" frame. And I wasn't taking care of myself. I was really depressed, wasn't happy. And so I ended up seeing one of my friends who's a coach, the 21-day fix program. So that's how I got introduced to Beachbody. And things were going really, really great. She was trying to get me to become a coach in the beginning, but ultimately the connection wasn't there. And we weren't really keeping in touch as much as I wanted to. And I wasn't finding that we were clicking. And so that's ultimately when I started following Sam, and then got connected with her, and I became a coach. So that's kind of my background and my story a little bit. The next thing that I wanted to get into, though, is my why. So I think it's like, this is probably like the most juvenile example I can give you, but like when Peter Pan loses his shadow, that's what I feel like my why is right now. Like I'm running around trying to catch my why, because I don't know what it is. It's constantly changing. It's constantly evolving. And we had a team call, like it must have been about a month ago. And I think it might've been Nicole, somebody that you knew, another coach, a guy that was on giving a talk. Anyway, he was amazing. And he was talking about the why, and that you really have to dig really, really deep and ask yourself some serious questions. So I'm kind of in that period right now where I'm really trying to refocus my business. I've seen a lot of success in the first 3 months, which has been amazing. And that's thanks to like all of you guys. Like it's such an amazing environment, and our groups are awesome. And then having such great an upline. So Sam, thank you. But I'm really trying to dig into my why right now. So I'm not going to talk about what it is, because I honestly don't know. I've said sometimes it's, pay off debt, because that's like a huge stress for my husband and I. I've said that it's, to take my husband on a honeymoon, because we've never been on a trip, just the two of us alone ever. So that would be amazing. I could list 1,000 different reasons, but when I'm thinking back to what that other coach that did the call was talking about, he was saying, you really have to dig deeper than that. And so that's kind of what I'm in the process of doing. So with trying to find my why, I'm feeling a lot of ups and downs lately. I'll have times where I'm like feeling super on fire and motivated, and I get up at like 4:35 in the morning, and I'm, crushing my workout, and I'm doing my personal development for like an hour or two before I get to work. And, I work all day. I try to get stuff done even on my lunch break for the business, and then come home. And some nights I'm working literally from the time I come into the door to maybe 11 o'clock at night. Like it's nonstop. And then I have other times where I'm like super low, and I'm like, God, I suck. I'm not, selling anything, and I'm like a horrible coach, and there's, why am I not doing better? And I'm super hard on myself. So I think it goes without saying, like I have a huge fear of failure, and I know most of us do. I don't think that's anything that's new. But I have to keep kind of telling myself that I'm not failing. If I give up as a coach, if I decide to walk away without reaching my full potential, which I know that each and every single one of us, we have, yeah, Ashley, exactly. Like I think lately it's, you can see it in the group, because everyone's just coming out with these amazing I say amazing posts because we're being so real and raw and honest. But yeah, like we have all those ups and downs, and it's about picking yourself up, I think, really, and thinking about what does failure mean to us. And I think it's different for every single person. But for me, at the end of the day, I think if I were to walk away from coaching, that would be a failure for me. So yeah, ups and downs, and how I'm managing that right now. This is what I wanted to talk about. So everybody's different, but I'm a very creative person. I love painting. I play guitar. I love instruments and music. Like anything I can do, get my hands on that's creative. I love home decor. Like I'll paint a room and I love doing it, like, or if it's picking out furniture, or like, I don't care. Even gardening, like maybe some of you have seen my posts in the last like couple weeks. I'm going crazy creating my outdoor space because this is the first time we have like a full yard to ourselves. And to me, that's like creative. I'm getting my hands dirty and I'm really getting involved in it. And so if that's what works for me, if that's what I said this to Sam earlier, but if that's what feeds my soul, that's what makes me feel good. That's what I need to do with my business. That's what I need to infuse into what I'm doing every single day to keep me motivated and to keep me really interested, but feeling good about what I'm doing. So in the last 3 months, again, like I've done really well, but I started to feel like maybe I'm not approaching it from the perspective of, helping other people. And that's another thing that makes me feel really good as a person. If I know that I can help somebody, whether it's to get healthier, lose weight, or whatever, it doesn't even have to be that. It could just be completely emotional and psychological. If I can help somebody, that's what makes me feel good as a person. So I'm kind of like in the process of rethinking. I'm still early as a coach. I've only been a coach for like 3 months, but trying to like rethink everything and how this is going to work. Yeah, Heather's saying I'm reading her mind. I think Heather's my success partner, by the way, and she's awesome. And we're kind of haven't really had like a lot of time to kind of sit down and talk, but we're looking at creating like a coaching group. But that for me is another creative outlet. So look at what works for you, what you're passionate about, and incorporate that into your business, because ultimately that's what's going to attract people to you. It's not, me messaging someone and being like, hey, I have a group going on. Do you want to join? Or, some kind of beat around the bush way of ultimately talking about Beachbody. Just talk to people, but people are going to be drawn to you if you're doing something that you love, because that's the energy that you're putting out. And then, okay, the last thing, I don't want to keep people too long because I know we had technical issues, but the other thing I want to talk about was the myth of time management. So this to me, like, it doesn't exist. We say we have a power hour, which is great. Start with an hour a day, but I'm the type of person, like, it's a creative process. I can't just smush everything in an hour. It's not possible. Sometimes I'll have days where it's like, I'm popping out ideas of all different kinds of posts and things I want to say, and ideas for my groups or whatever. Like, I have really, really creative days, and then I have creatively dry days where there's like nothing, there's no motivation, there's no inspiration, there's nothing, and I just need to rest. Because is it really bad? I don't think I've said A yet. Although I'm in a lumberjack shirt, maybe I should be drinking a beer too. Anyway, I'm just kidding, guys. So yeah, for me, time management doesn't exist. If you really love what you're doing, I don't want to put a timestamp on it for myself. So if I feel like working on my business for, I don't know, like all damn weekend, like I'm up at 4 and I don't go to bed until 3, like that's what I feel like doing, because to me, it's like a creative expression of me and who I am and what I love. So I can't put a timestamp on it. So in terms of like time management, make it work for you. I have a full-time job. I love my job. I don't have access to my cell phone all day long, which is actually really refreshing if you do have a full-time job, to like disconnect like that and not have, be that accessible to people. It's a wonderful feeling. But it does mean that I have to really schedule my time in terms of like my posting and all that kind of stuff on Facebook. But really, do what works for you. Maybe you're the type of person that all you need is an hour a day. That's great. I need way more than an hour a day. And I'm not even including like the me time I need in there. Lately I've been super into meditation because with my highs and lows, like I'm all over the place, and meditation has been amazing. And where I work, there's actually a meditation group. And there's a guided meditation every Wednesday at lunch hour. And like sometimes it's just like a really, we go outside and we walk around, and you're just being really like conscious of the moment, and, you know, not thinking about work and relaxing. Like there's all different kinds that we do, but I'm really fortunate to have that, and I take advantage of it. I'm actually wearing my mala beads right now. But totally, if that's something that works for you, do that. If, I don't know, beating on a drum set is what gets those creative juices flowing for you and helps you kind of relax and unwind, do that. If painting or go dig a hole in your backyard and plant something, like whatever works for you, just do it. But make sure you're taking that time to really reset and really tune into you, because I think that's something that I was missing in the first 3 months. I was trying so hard to do well in the business, and I'm looking at all these amazing leader coaches we have in our group and all the amazing just coaches all over the place and the great stuff they're putting out there and the value that they're providing. But don't forget about you and who you are as a person and what you can bring to the table, because that's so much more than, you know, like a template or copying somebody else's work. Like just do whatever works for you, and that's what's going to bring the people that you want around you. So that's kind of all I had. I really rushed through because I'm kind of nervous.
No, before Samantha says anything, you are her long lost twin sister. Like, could have done this. Everything that you said, I was sitting here like, oh my gosh. So it just goes back to saying, just be you, do you, and like exactly what you said, because she clearly, you know, attracted you because you guys are like the same person. I don't know. But seriously, and the only second thing I wanted to add was you are the second person I talked to this week that talked about they already had a coach, or they had a friend that was a coach, but they ended up going with somebody else because they just connected with that other person. So remember that when you're, number one, when you're talking to people, if they say no, maybe they just don't connect with you, and just let them go connect with the people that they do, because that happens to me a lot. And then number two, you never know when somebody might come to you in that sense. But yes, you guys are long lost sisters.
Well, I'm hoping like we can meet soon, because I'm sad I couldn't go to Summit this year. Unfortunately, I have a wedding, but next year, obviously for sure, because I have my ticket. So yeah. But did anyone have anything else?
Before you talk, Samantha, you can't talk yet. I was just, sorry. I was taking notes and I was like, God, it sounds like Samantha's talking. Is that Samantha or is that Amanda? Like, I don't even know. It's so true. Like what you put out there, like, and it's by pure cadence that you guys like connected up. I mean, and yourness couldn't have come at a better time for myself. I needed everything that you said.
Oh, thank you.
All of it. And, you know, don't forget about you. You know, there's so many other coaches, there's so many other things, but that shit doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So thank you for all of this, and never apologize for sharing your voice, for speaking your word, because it matters. So thank you.
Thank you.
Can I talk yet? Or does somebody? Just kidding.
I was going to talk.
Heather! Go ahead, Heather. It's fine. Go ahead.
I already muted. I was just going to say that I have been working a lot lately. I'm sure you guys have seen my posts on like my drawing and all that stuff that I like to do for me. So I'm at completely the same area that Amanda's in. So like I said, it was like she was speaking from my mind, because that's exactly where I'm at. And I'm kind of not even at the point where I'm posting, you know, a ton about my workouts or whatever, because that's not what I'm doing. I'm focused on me, and I want people to be able to relate to me. So yeah, that was all. Go ahead, Sam.
Yeah, I mean, everything that you said tonight, Amanda, is, I mean, I'm sure most of you guys know that I was really struggling there for a few weeks, and I really am just barely starting to come out of it, because I'm working so hard on myself. And what Amanda said about the creativity and do what you enjoy. And it's okay to have those days where you unplug, or when you you have those days where you're on fire and you have those days where you're not so on fire. That's totally fine. Be gentle with yourself, because you did have those up days. And like she was saying, to be you, if there's something about your business that you really, really don't like and it doesn't serve you, get rid of it and amplify the other parts of your business that you love. And so that was totally what I've been thinking lately too, is like, I love the creative aspect. I love the attraction marketing. I would so much rather be putting out really great content to people and being creative and having fun with that versus going out inviting. Or like for somebody like Nicole, let's say Nicole's really into personal development. Just dive into the personal development, dive into the things that you love, instead of worrying about whatever it is that you don't like, and really just amplify the what you're really good at and what you're really passionate about. Because when you do that, you're going to attract people into your life. And so, like hearing Amanda talk about how we have all these similar interests with like interior design and just our taste in general, like share your taste, share you, exactly, because your vibe attracts your tribe. So put your vibe out there, and don't try to be like anybody else, just be you. So, gosh, I loved it. Thank you so much. I'm so, so proud of you.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Amanda, I wanted to ask a couple questions as for people that are going to watch this later, for new coaches.
I'm counting on this, Nicole. You're like the queen of questions. I was counting on this. So yes.
Are you serious?
Yes. I love questions.
Oh, that's awesome, because I love questions too. So maybe we could use this as a format to use for like other new coaches, because you are brand new, because you're 3 months in?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what made it click for you that you were going to work your business? Okay, so you told like your fitness side of it, and like you're like 152 pounds for your 5-foot frame or whatever. Like, what was I want to do this? Was it watching Samantha? Was it, this is a platform that I can use my creative juices? Like, what was it? Maybe you said it earlier and I missed it, but.
No, it's definitely seeing Sam and the content that she was putting out there. Like, that was right up my alley. Like, I don't know, just doing anything that's creative really, really appeals to me. But I loved like her style and her interior design stuff. And I had just finished decorating my apartment. So like, I got really into that. And then I knew for me, Beachbody products worked. I already loved them. But it was, I don't know, I was just, like I said, I had another coach and I was missing that connection. And she'd asked me a lot, like, oh, do you want to coach? You should be a coach. Why don't you want to be a coach? But like, those were the only times she would communicate with me. And that's pretty much like point blank. She'd just be like, do you want to be a coach? And I didn't feel like it was about me as a human being, as a person. And it wasn't about, me learning. And I don't know, there was just something about Sam for whatever reason that I really kind of connected with that. And I don't know, it made me want to share my story. It made me want to help people. Like, I've always loved helping people. I actually used to be like in elementary school, a peer mediator. So I'd walk around with a vest during recess and help mediate arguments and stuff. Like, no one does that as a kid. No one likes that stuff. But for some reason I loved it. So like, I like helping people. I already had that sort of element to it. So I think, I don't know, it was whatever vibe she was putting out there, I was like eating up and I wanted some. So
that's good. Okay. So then with that, what was the easiest part about learning the coaching? Like, what was the easiest thing? Was it this is the letter, this is the video, watch this video, and then put your wings on and fly? I mean, because you're creative. I think creative people can just like, because they want to use their juices. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So was it that, or was it the handbook? Was it a phone conversation? Not talking about Beachbody with Sam? Like, what was it?
I think it was just observing kind of what everyone else is putting out there. Like, Amy Silverman is another one that I'm like, oh, like, amazing. Like, I love her style. I love her like lifestyle. Like, I'd love to live on a beach, although I'd probably burn. I'm like white as Casper and I burn. So that's probably not a good idea, but like, she's amazing. It was just seeing like a lot of the stuff that people were putting out there, and like, people are eating this stuff up. Like, they see this the people living this lifestyle and they go, God, that'd be so amazing. And like, I was thinking the same thing too, like, I work for the government here. I love it. I love what I do, but it's an office job, you know, like, and because I'm a creative person, like, sure, I'd love to stay home and be with my family and raise my family. Like, I didn't have a super close-knit family growing up. My dad was out of the house most of the week. He worked shift. We never really saw him during the week. And so for me, the thought of being home with my family and my kids, and like my husband and I are like, you know, we're going to be starting our family pretty soon. And so that's something that definitely, seeing Sam being able to do that was like an appeal for me. But in terms of how to apply that to my business, I don't know, like it just sort of came. I don't know, like, because watching videos on how-tos is great, but I learn by doing. Having somebody show me something, where to click, like, meh, it doesn't mean anything to me. So it was all about just, I guess, seeing what people were doing and then just winging it. I don't know.
So then
answered it.
You started, yeah, no, that's perfect. That's great. I mean, you started just inviting, you started just asking and sharing your story, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So like in terms of inviting, like I never opened the conversation for Beachbody. I'm kind of like similar to Sam in the sense that I don't like, hey, I'm a Beachbody coach, I have a group, want to join? You know, or hey, this program, like it weirds me out. I used to work sales all the time, and it was like a commission company before, and it's like super pushy, and it was all about the numbers, and I don't like it. It was just having real conversations with people, and then catching up with people that I haven't talked to in a while. And I don't even bring up Beachbody. I don't even think about it. It's not, that conversation that I'm having is not at the end of the day about how much money or even SC points can I get out of this person. That's not how I'm approaching it. I'm approaching it just with, oh my God, she's been on mat leave for a year. Like, how is she doing? How's the baby? I don't know. So yeah, I don't know. It's never been about that for me.
That's cool. Do you have any questions yourself? Like what, and do you have anything else?
No, not really. The only other thing that I would say, because I talked a little bit about personal development, and like I know you're big into it too, Nicole, but for me, personal development is not necessarily reading a book. It's not necessarily listening to an audiobook or watching a YouTube video. For me, personal development is just sitting quiet, playing my guitar in the backyard. Like that's chill time for me. So if that's something that's going to like fuel you and make you feel good, do it.
Because that's don't forget about you. Your personal development is you. Because you could all you want, but that's not going to fill your answer. Like my best advice to people is you buy a blank notebook and you write about you. You do you.
Love it.
Yep. That's good.
Did anybody else have anything that they want to ask Amanda? All right. Let you guys go. Thank you again so much, Amanda, for being on the call tonight. It was wonderful, amazing, and thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it. I love you all so much, and I hope you guys have a wonderful evening and go enjoy your families and figure out that thing that you amplify it. It doesn't have to be creativity, because if you're sitting there and you're like, I'm not creative at all, it does not have to be the creativity. Just figure out what aspects of coaching or life that you love and go out and amplify that and share it out on your social media and keep doing it. So, all right.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.